been trying all this time. So where do we go? Where do we go? You've had secrets, I've been blind. So where do we go? Where do we go?
So I did promise you guys some gaming on the new MacBook Pro with the touch bar, and here it is. So you can game on the MacBook Pro. Of course, the best way to do is to install Windows, and if you wanted to do that, check out our installation video. Now, there are a couple of things you need. You definitely need an Xbox controller. You need a dongle itself. You need that USB Type-C dongle as well as your MacBook Pro with a touch bar. Now, MacBook Pro is the top of the line in terms of specs, so it's got the R460 GPU. Now you can also use the USB dongle if you have an older Xbox One controller to connect it to your MacBook Pro. Now your function keys here are pretty much that. They don't do anything else in terms of usage on your PC or when you're gaming. So just remember that that is pretty much its functionality. So let's go into some gaming. Now the very first game we have here is Battlefield 1. Resolution is set at 3480 by 2400, and it's at medium. You can see already it's posting 16 frames per second, but we'll go ahead and jump into the game to see what we get as we start playing. Now I'm using the controller because I will let you guys know later that I'm not a fan of the keyboard when it comes to gaming. But you can see here it is doing 16 to 17 frames per second. It is really sluggish, even though it's got a high resolution display. At medium settings, it is not best to actually play this game like that, of course, because you're going to get lots of slowdowns, you probably get shots, and you're not going to enjoy your gameplay experience. So went ahead and changed that, and we're going to drop our resolution down to 1920 by 1200, which should give us a better look in terms of performance. And then after that, we're going to keep our settings at medium here, so you can see that there. It's going to refresh the screen, hit OK. We like it at that, and we're still going to leave it at medium. And already our frame rate has moved up to 47 frames, 46 frames per second, which is much better than what we were doing. But like I said, keeping it in medium, let's go ahead and jump back into gameplay. If we go into high, we get to about 30 frames per second in there. So resuming gameplay and seeing how we do. You can see there 4950, and you're going to see that you're going to get much better performance. So the 460 GPU, the AMD GPU, actually does a pretty good job. It goes a little higher sometimes depending on where you are, what kind of firefights you're going through. Now, don't mind my gameplay. I'm terrible, so let's just focus on what the performance is within the game. And as we get in shot here, you can see it's even gone up to around 58, almost 60 frames per second. So at this setting, when you drop down the screen resolution, you get much better performance off the MacBook Pro. Now this is the Division. The resolution here is 3840 by 2400, and I just sped this up because I have to show you with medium settings again. We're running this at actually 12 frames per second, so it is not wise to actually play a game like Division or any game at the highest spec resolution of this display. So we went ahead and dropped it down to 1920 by 1200. And the graphical settings are medium. It's auto set at medium, and you're going to see much better performance. So right now it's at 45 frames per second, and we can go ahead and jump into some gameplay here. And as you can see here, while using this, is that you can get a little higher, you can get some really good frame rates, and you can play the game pretty well. You're gonna get smooth gameplay all the way through. Things look very detailed and nice, and when you jump into firefights, you can see how well it still handles. There's some drop in frame rate, but again, you're still in the high in the 50s to the high 40s here in terms of gameplay performance, which is nice. So get into some of those battles though, you will drop down a little bit. So we're here at like in 36 frames per second, so it's got a wider range. Again, Division is a much larger open world game. I wanted to see how the MacBook Pro will actually handle that in there. and slowdowns were not noticeable. And you can see again, it does a really good job in just performance, 34 frames per second in this intense battle sequence here in the Division. So the MacBook Pro can handle that well. Now we're moving to our last game, and our last game is Doom. And here we are going to our settings only max out at 1920 by 1080. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't change that to anything higher, or we're going to go lower to 720p, and we are at ultra on Doom. So we're going to go back and jump into some gameplay, and it's pretty much locked at 30 frames per second. That's what I actually noticed while playing Doom. Now, one thing I will tell you though is that playing Doom with a controller is it's a painful gaming experience, I would say, but you do have a smooth 30 frames per second, and we'll drop down to like maybe low 20s at some point, but it's smooth enough and capable enough for you to play this game. Graphically, it looks really good. So again, this processor works well. Now you can game with a mouse and keyboard, as you can see here. It's much better, but I will say, if you're thinking about that with the MacBook Pro, the keyboard doesn't lend well to PC gaming. It's got that really flat feel on low surface travel. So while you're I don't think it has any anti-ghosting whatsoever, but as you're actually gaming with it, it just feels really funny and doesn't feel as accurate and intuitive. So I pretty much was just running forward most of the time rather than actually backtracking or strafing left and right, just because of the way the keys felt. Again, it is still usable. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to do better than I can. But again, if you want to play a game like Doom or Battlefield, you want to go mouse and keyboard rather than a controller on there. But you can see its performance again is still in the 20s to 30 frames per second. It doesn't go past 30 for whatever reason. It will stop there. Overall, I think the MacBook Pro does provide a gaming experience. You're going to be stuck using dongles to basically connect your peripherals, be it the controller or the mouse, and you still will get a decent and solid gaming experience altogether. Now, some of you are going to ask me how this is compared to other devices like, say, the Razer Book. We'll let you know. We'll do a separate video comparing both to see which actually can give you a better performance. Otherwise, guys, don't forget to like and share this video. If you're looking to pick up the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, use our link down below. If you want to pick up the other accessories, we have links for you there. This is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and when you do subscribe, you hit and check the notification icon so you can get links to all our videos. This is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.